Residual ghost. A residual ghost is often described as a replay of past events that somehow became attached to a place. People usually report hearing footsteps in an empty hallway, seeing the same figure walk across a room at the same time every night, or hearing voices with no clear source. Unlike many other ghost stories, these spirits do not seem aware of the living. They repeat the same actions over and over, almost like an old recording. Many paranormal researchers connect this idea to places with strong emotional events, such as battlefields, hospitals, or old homes where tragedy once happened. Intelligent ghost. An intelligent ghost is believed to be aware of its surroundings and capable of reacting to people nearby. In stories from many cultures, these spirits answer questions, move objects, or appear directly in front of witnesses. Reports often include sudden cold spots, doors opening without explanation, or voices responding during paranormal investigations. This type of ghost became especially popular during the spiritualist movement of the 19th century, when seances and spirit communication gained attention around the world. Poltergeist. The word poltergeist comes from German and roughly means noisy ghost. Unlike quiet apparitions, these spirits are linked to physical disturbances. People claim objects fly across rooms, furniture moves on its own, and loud banging sounds come from inside walls. Interestingly, many famous cases involve teenagers or stressful family situations. Some researchers believe poltergeist stories may have psychological explanations, while others see them as one of the most aggressive forms of paranormal activity. Shadow person. Shadow people are usually described as dark human-shaped figures seen briefly in doorways, corners, or at the foot of a bed. Witnesses often say they appear solid black with little or no visible detail. The experience is commonly connected with fear or paralysis, especially during the night. Stories about shadow figures exist in many cultures, though modern reports became more widespread with internet forums and paranormal television shows. Even today, people debate whether these sightings are supernatural or connected to sleep-related hallucinations. Wraith. A wraith is traditionally seen as a ghostly double of a living person. In older folklore from Scotland and parts of Northern Europe, seeing a wraith was considered a warning of death or serious danger. Unlike common ghosts linked to the dead, a wraith could appear while the real person was still alive. These stories often carried a heavy sense of doom and were treated very seriously in rural communities where superstition shaped daily life. Banshee. The banshee comes from Irish folklore and is known for her terrifying cry. According to legend, hearing her wail meant that someone in a family would soon die. She is usually described as a pale woman with long hair, sometimes dressed in white or gray. In some stories she appears young and beautiful, while in others she looks old and frightening. The banshee became one of the most famous ghost-like spirits in Celtic mythology because her role was tied directly to death and mourning. Revenant. A revenant is a spirit believed to return from the dead with unfinished business. Unlike peaceful ghosts, revenants are often connected to revenge, anger, or unresolved conflict. Medieval stories described them as physical beings capable of harming the living. Some legends even blurred the line between ghosts and undead creatures. These tales reflected deep fears about death and the idea that the dead might refuse to stay buried. Lady in White. The Lady in White appears in ghost stories across many countries and usually represents sorrow, loss, or betrayal. She is commonly described wearing a long white dress and wandering near roads, rivers, or old buildings. Many versions involve tragic deaths connected to love or children. Drivers sometimes report seeing her suddenly appear on lonely roads late at night. Because similar stories exist almost everywhere, the Lady in White became one of the most recognizable ghost figures in the world. Headless ghost. Headless ghosts are among the oldest paranormal figures in folklore. Stories describe spirits carrying their own heads or searching endlessly for them. Castles, battlefields, and execution sites are common settings for these legends. In Europe, headless spirits were often linked to nobles or soldiers who died violently. The image became so powerful that it later inspired fictional characters in literature and film. Child ghost. Child ghosts are usually portrayed as small figures heard laughing, crying, or running through empty buildings. Many reports involve schools, hospitals, or family homes. These stories tend to disturb people deeply because they combine innocence with tragedy. Paranormal investigators often claim electronic recordings capture children's voices in haunted places. Whether believed or not, these tales remain emotionally powerful because they touch on fears connected to loss and memory. Animal ghost. Animal ghosts appear in many cultures and are often connected to pets returning after. People describe hearing paws on wooden floors, seeing shadowy animals move through rooms, or feeling something brush past them. Black dogs, phantom horses, and ghost cats are especially common in folklore. In older legends, some animal spirits were seen as protectors, while others were treated as omens of danger. Doppelganger. A doppelganger is a ghostly copy of a living person. Unlike a wraith, the double often behaves independently and may even interact with others. German folklore treated these sightings as deeply unsettling, especially when someone encountered their own double face to face. Modern stories sometimes connect doppelgangers with alternate realities or psychological experiences, but the original legends focused on fear, identity, and bad fortune. Vengeful spirit. A vengeful spirit is driven by anger and the desire for justice or revenge. These ghosts appear frequently in Asian horror stories, especially in Japan and Korea. They are often linked to betrayal, or emotional suffering. Long black hair, pale skin, and unnatural movements became defining features in modern horror films. Unlike passive hauntings, vengeful spirits are usually portrayed as dangerous and impossible to escape. Crisis apparition. A crisis apparition is said to appear during moments of extreme danger or death. In many reports, someone suddenly sees a friend or family member far away, only to later discover that the person or suffered a tragedy at that exact time. These stories have existed for centuries and are often described as calm, brief experiences rather than frightening encounters. Because they involve emotional connections between people, crisis apparitions became one of the most discussed types of ghost sightings in paranormal research. Phantom Hitchhiker. The Phantom Hitchhiker is a classic urban legend found around the world. The story usually begins with a driver picking up a quiet stranger on a lonely road late at night. After a short journey, the passenger suddenly disappears from the vehicle without explanation. In many versions, the driver later learns that the hitchhiker died years earlier in a nearby accident. The tale became especially popular during the rise of car culture in the 20th century and remains one of the most enduring modern ghost stories. For more videos, check out our channel. Feel free to subscribe and leave a like.